Welcome to Fearless and Focused, a podcast for women who refuse to shrink, settle, or play small. I'm Brooke Brolo.
And I'm Casey Cooper. Together, we're bringing you raw conversations, real strategies, and the behind-the-scenes truth, building a business and a life you love.
We're here to talk manifesting, mindset, money, leadership, and all the messy metal that no one wants to say out loud.
So if you're ready to level up with more confidence, more clarity, and more community, you're in the right place.
Let's get fearless and focused.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Fearless and Focused. We are excited for our guest today. She is the true definition of fearless. I can't wait to dive into her intro and her story and all the things about her. Welcome, Sarah, to the show. We're so excited you're here. Brooke's going to kick it off with some rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
So ready.
Bring it. Okay, let's go, Sarah. Okay, so in one word or short sentence, what's your vertical blonde superpower?
Becoming iconic in any situation.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay. Do you have a song that like puts you in that like main character energy? Okay.
Yes, I do. It is Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana. And when I got to get into it, I literally like slick back my hair, turn that music on, and it's go time.
It's total badass mode. I love it. That's my like genre too. Like back in the day, I grew up on that. I listened to Lithium all the time. So yeah, that's awesome.
So good.
Okay. What's one glam item? Because you're so glamorous. What's one glam item that you can't travel without?
Great lip liner.
Okay. Okay. And then if confidence was a flavor, what would yours be?
Oh gosh, confidence was a flavor. I love this question. Why is this so hard? It's so funny. I feel like I'm just going, it sounds so basic, but French vanilla.
Oh, okay.
Just like rich and warm and inviting. I feel leaning towards that.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. Okay. And then what's something that people would never guess about you?
You know what? I don't think that they would guess my depth. I write a lot of poetry and I actually really enjoy deep kind of melancholy moments. I really love to feel all of my emotions. I know people see me out and I'm bubbly and I'm all this, but when I go inward and I process, it is deep and it's very introspective.
Awesome. I love it. Okay. Casey, you're up. Let's kick it off.
Great
I can't
questions.
wait.
I love them.
Thanks.
Yeah. I was like, oh, these are right up her alley. And I can tell your last response, I can totally tell with your content when, you're putting out something and you're deep in your feelings. And I just love that about you, just kind of you pouring into your content and it all being real and authentic in who you are. So we're so excited to have you here today. Give us just a little bit of intro. Who are you, Sarah, and just a little bit of your story?
Absolutely. So I go by the name Vertical Blonde. It's my brand name, and it's also what I call my iconic identity. Back in 2012, I was in a ATV accident. And the day of my accident, that morning, I'd gone on a hike and literally said the words out loud that my life was perfect and that I did not want to change a thing. And 4 hours later, I was upside down underneath a four-wheeler with a broken clavicle, almost every broken rib, and a broken back that left me paralyzed from the waist down. And it was like not only someone took the bottom half of my body off, but they took the rug out from under me and everything just got flipped upside down. The next 4 years were really dark. It was, talk about being in your feelings. It was very dark. Yet I think something happens when we go through something like that, where we put on the face because we don't want to burden anybody. And people kept saying I was such an inspiration, all these things. So I'd be like, yeah, I'm an inspiration. I'm doing really good. And behind closed doors, there were some really dark periods. I was actually even suicidal. And I just could not fathom living a full, vivacious, beautiful, amazing life with a disability. It just, the two didn't go hand in hand. The biggest one for me was like, there's no way I can be sexy and desirable and feminine and all these things that I really felt pre-accident and have this disability. Like I couldn't fathom how the two could coexist. About 4 years after the accident, I'm going to go through this really rapid fire kind of way, but life took me to Maui and I made the really conscious, intentional decision to I'm open to healing. I'm open to healing in any way, shape, or form. Please bring me healers. I'm ready. I'm willing. I don't want to feel this pain anymore. And I did. I was brought everything I needed. I experienced therapy, women's circles, chanting at the moon till Codependence Anonymous. I did everything. I did dance class, aerial silks, personal training, everything in between. And through all of this, a lot of people back in Utah, where I was living before, wanted to know updates. And so I decided to start a blog with just sharing the stories along the way. And at that point, I knew that my words had power. And because frankly, I was becoming more and more disabled because that was the word I was using. So I thought, okay, if I'm going to name this blog, it's got to be really intentional. So I chose the name Vertical Blonde. I thought, okay, my goal is to stand again, walk again. So I want to be vertical. Blonde's obvious, right? So Vertical Blonde, she was born. And the reason why I bring this up is because now this is literally the nucleus of everything I teach, do, live, everything. That I called that my iconic identity. And she became this true north. And I just kept asking myself little by little, what would Vertical Blonde do today? What would she wear? What would she eat? How would she treat her body? What would she do in this situation? How would she sit in her chair? How would she smile? All of these things. And it took me into a completely different direction versus how would disabled Sarah that I was starting to see myself as. So Vertical Blonde became this, she just became my inner icon that I just let out to play. And little by little, when you'd ask, what's the one thing I can't go without for my glam? The thing I began with was just playing with different colors of lipstick. Because if I hated it or if I felt too much, I could just wipe it off and go back in my little cave. But I would just play with these little ways to like break out of the mold little by little. And then, okay, now I feel confident wearing a red lipstick. Okay, now maybe I'll wear some heels today. And so all of that came together. I did immense healing. I met a therapist who I call my medicine woman. She really taught me the power of getting connected to me and the me that felt most alive and aligned. And that was Vertical Blonde. And I just went through all these phases. I got more in touch with my body, got more in touch with my soul, my spiritual side of myself. And through all of that began also helping other people along the way. The first business I actually had was helping other females in wheelchairs have more confidence and physical fitness. And that was called Disability Icon. And so it's just grown from there. Now I have learned that I do not put anyone in a box based on disability, man or woman, tall or short. Like I don't put you in a box whatsoever. I'm here to help people become their most iconic selves. And I do that through, I call it marketing wise, I call it in as like the power of public speaking. But what I'm really doing is getting them into their body, out of their head, and really living from that iconic place. And it's amazing how alive they become. And things like public speaking that used to scare the crap out of them, no big deal. They can just handle it like a boss. So that's where I'm at today. And my big focus is iconic presence and iconic public speaking. And so I do that through workshops with companies, businesses, industries. I run my own academy called the Icon Academy. We open that once a year in spring. I do annual events, everything to help people live more iconic.
I love it. I love your story so much. Like I've followed you. Like I know a lot of the background. I saw the pictures that you posted, your transformation and how you were like, how you just turned into this like strong, like crazy strong, amazing badass of a lady. And you're sharing your story. I guess my question is like, what made you, was there like a pivotal moment that you had that was like, I want to share my story with everyone and I'm going to get on stage. You said you were scared to death to be on stage. Been there, done that 5 years ago. If you'd have told me I'd stand on stages of 1,000 people, I would have been like, you're crazy. I'd pass out and have a heart attack all at once. No, like what was the moment that you were like, I have a story to tell and I'm going to do it on stages?
It was interesting because initially it was just people coming to me, asking me to share the stories. It was like little women's circles or moms groups. And it started really small. And as I started doing that, because my life before the accident, I was on television, I was a TV host, like that was in my blood. Yet I was terrified of being seen in the wheelchair in this way. And so as they started to ask me, it was like, oh my gosh, there I am. I remember her. I feel so good when I'm speaking, when I've got an audience or in front of a camera. It was like, it just started to unlock things little by little. And it was interesting. I guess it was pretty gradual. You asked for a pivotal moment, but it was pretty gradual. And I feel like the consistency is key, right? People want this like big pivotal moment. And actually, it just is created in the micro moments of life that you just keep doing over and over. So I just kept sharing to anyone that would listen and just kept sharing and sharing. And then life brought me then back to Utah. And it was just another one of those really internal decisions of, okay, I think I'm ready. I've put in the reps. People want to get on stage before they put in the reps. I put in a lot of reps. I spoke for free for a lot of years to anyone that would listen. And then I got to a point where I was just said, okay, I'm ready. I can start owning this. And I was really owning myself. I was no longer having to ask what would Vertical Blonde do. It was just now who I was. And it was very obvious what to wear each day. It was very obvious how to treat my body because I'd just done it so consistently. So then once getting on stage, I was just ready for it. I think I've actually unlocked the secret of the fear of public speaking. Do you guys want it?
Yes,
I have
please.
completely unlocked the fear from my own experience as well as working with so many people. I believe it is this, that so often people, when they get in front of a group of people, they're up in their head trying desperately to think of the one thing to say to appease the entire audience. How can I say it in a way that everyone in this audience likes me? No one's going to judge me. I'm going to be accepted, right? Because that's all we all want that at the end. Like we want to be liked and loved and all the things. So they're up in their head frantically searching for those words. And I believe the way to actually overcome that is you get so rooted in who you are. I call it seated. You guys heard of the book, The Seat of the Soul?
No.
So good. It's a definite read. It's a very deep read. I have to read every page about 4 times to really get it. But he talks about just the seat of the soul, like your core, your intuition. So you get really seated in who you are to a place where that I am appeasing myself. I am so rooted in what I'm saying in front of this audience. I know it to be true. I believe it. And if I can get down in my body, if I can get people into their body, out of their heads, all that fear goes away. But again, it's consistency and it doesn't happen overnight.
Wow, that is deep. And that is a deep book. Let's talk about your audience for a minute, because I've been an audience. And so I know the answer to this question because I've seen you speak, and there wasn't a pin drop you could hear in the room when you were speaking the entire time. But when you're up on stage and you're speaking, what is it that you're wanting your audience to feel? Like, what kind of experience are you trying to provide and the feelings? And let's dive into that a little bit.
I've learned a few things. Number one, your audience is never going to outdo you. When you're up on stage, you're setting a standard for the room, right? So I can never expect my audience to play bigger than me, go bigger than me, because whoever's at the front of the room with the microphone, they're setting the standard for that moment. So I have to play so big and be so permissive for people. My whole brand is about becoming iconic. So I got to lead from a super iconic, strong place if I want them to also rise into that. So I'm going to lead from that place. And I do something, I'm more of a visual person, but I almost imagine my audience like a big thing of Play-Doh. And so my job is to scoop all the Play-Doh together, as in the group as a whole. And then I mold it and I stretch it and I move it. And I'm the one harnessing the energy of the room. Now you'll probably see it if you ever see me speak again, but I do something as I enter every single stage. And I will physically put my arms out as far as I can. And it's this energetic way to literally scoop, like invite the room into my heart and soul. And then I scoop them up and I don't let them go until I'm done. And so I think it's very energetic. And also my whole goal is to help them feel permission to just play bigger, go bolder, play it more full out, all of that.
Oh, I love that so much. I can only imagine. Casey told me how amazing it was after you were there. And I wanted to be there that year and I couldn't be there. So I hope I get to see you speak in person. And then Powerhouse Women, I was there that year after you were there. And I was like, dang it. Like I keep missing it. So like I am like absolutely like loving having you on today and just in hearing all of this. You know, when you are on stage, I know that looking at your content and knowing what I know about you, the power of words is huge to you. And I think that you can relate to a lot of women who feel stuck or something has happened. They've had a moment where they're like, or they've gotten older and they don't feel as sexy or as whatever it is. Like, how did you reclaim your sexy from taking where you thought, oh my gosh, this is maybe someone's out feeling like a rock bottom and like, how do I get past this? How do I reclaim my power? How do I reclaim my sexy? Like, how do I do this? What's a message that you give them?
It was such a good question. Everyone in our audience is going to love this question.
All right. Are you ready? Stop asking how and start living who. Okay. So everyone wants to know how, and they're asking the world, how do I do it? And really, the transformation happened in those really intentional personal moments with myself when I literally crafted Vertical Blonde. I crafted her. I decided who she was. Now I was going internal for the answers, right? I was really listening to myself. At the beginning of every therapy session with my medicine woman, she is a therapist, but I call her my medicine woman. And she would have me do something. She would have me put my hand on my belly and I would just ask she would ask me the words, what part of you needs you right now? And what does it need? And so every single Friday, I didn't miss a Friday for 4.5 years. I'd never missed a Friday. If I was out of town, I did it via Zoom. It was so important to me. And what I got really good at was just listening and then taking action. What part of me needs me right now? Okay, the flow within me needs me. Okay, what does it need? It needs to dance. Okay, we go dance, right? So it's this constant communication and action with yourself. So I got really good at tuning in and just asking, okay, me at my fullest potential. Because that's really what our iconic identity is. It's our fullest potential, right? So it's going to look different for everybody. Me at my fullest potential, no limits, including the disability, no limits, including all the labels that I put on myself. Who am I in my fullest potential? And then crafting that and getting really clear about that. I think that's the part that people miss. They're asking how based on their current situation and the current version of themselves they're living, which has just been practiced. But they're not asking, what version of myself am I wanting to become through all of this, right? And what would they do in order to get me where I want to go? So we got to reverse engineer it. First, what does it look like? Who is that iconic self, your fullest potential self? Write that out without hesitation and without self-judgment. That's the biggest one, right? Mm-hmm. I wanted to write, she's glam, she's vivacious, she's bold. And I'd look at the list and be like, no, I'm not. That's a lie. This list is a lie, right? But it was just little by little reaffirming to myself, no, actually I am. And yet I just haven't been practicing it. So we got to get in practice of it. So the how needs to get off the table until the who is dialed in. And then once the who is dialed in, the how is so obvious. It's crystal clear.
Wow, that's so good. So what I'm hearing is that we ask how, and we're looking externally, someone to tell us, right? We're looking outside of ourselves. How am I supposed to do this? How am I supposed to be all this stuff? So what I'm hearing you say is you actually look inward, create the best, highest version of yourself, and then start integrating into her consistently and slowly. Start blending the two of who you are, what you want that self to be, and start integrating. Is that kind of in a snapshot?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then you get to ask yourself, like, what do I want to happen through this? We're asking like how to navigate something, but it's what if we just asked, what is the end result I really want? What do I truly want to be on the other side of this? Not what do I think is possible, because those two are very different, right? But what do I want? And then you start to, I call it co-creating with life. I live by this principle and I teach this. This is probably been the principle that has changed the most lives, or I get the most DMs that it's changed the most. So let's just say that. And it's this principle of living ready. When you live in anticipation of the results you want, not only are you going to find them, you're going to create them. If I told you today, when you go get your Starbucks, inside the Starbucks or outside in the line, someone there is going to have the biggest opportunity for you financially today. How would you show up to that Starbucks? You'd be prepped, primed, looking for opportunity, ready to accept it, ready to anticipate it and create it. You're going to be talking to everyone. You're going to be bringing up conversations. You're going to be outgoing. You're going to be inviting things in because you're anticipating all of that coming back to you. So what if you just started anticipating every single day, every place you went held opportunities. It held goodness. It held reasons for you to show up your very best. Those are the places that you practice. I've met more clients at Starbucks than anywhere else in my life. That is, you just go and you're anticipating it because most people are in their phone and they're checked out of life. You connect with someone and connect from this place of you and I have something that each other needs, and it's going to be fun for us to find it and create it, or wants, maybe not even needs, but we want something from each other, right? Maybe it's connection. Maybe it's just love. Maybe it's a new friendship. We don't know what it is yet, but I think every opportunity holds something, even our biggest lessons.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm hearing you talk and I'm relating it to my own life and my own becoming of her, whoever she is. Like I'm 49 and I feel more confident and sexy than I did in my 30s when I was freaking hot. And I'm like, why didn't I have that confidence then? But I was being a mom. That was the season that I was in and raising my kids. And now my kids are older and I'm like really becoming, right? And I don't know what the end result is. Like, I'm like, okay, how do I want to show up today? And I don't want to live small. Like anyone that knows me, like I'm loud, I'm proud, I'm fun, I'm wild, I'm chaotic, I'm not organized, but that's who I am. And I own it because I'm like, I know that my tribe's going to find me and I'm going to find my tribe. Right. And so Casey and I have been on a journey the last year. We both started coming into our own and like this, doing these iconic things, right? We started a podcast. We started a business together. Like it's exploded. And I don't know what's next. I don't. And so I'm like, I'm just trying to be open and I'm into like manifestation. I know you are too. But to someone that's, I don't know what's next. Do you have advice? Because you know who Vertical Blonde is. You live her, you know her, you're there. Is there, I guess, how do I know? Do you arrive? I'm assuming you don't. You just keep going and you keep becoming.
She continuously evolves. She continuously evolves as we do. I will never fully get there because as I get here, the there goes further out. And we always want that gap. We always want, if there's not a gap, it might be a problem, right? We want something that we are striving to become. Tony Robbins always talks about the key to happiness is progress. We are continuously progressing towards something. I think it's important threefold. One, to have a sense of vision of either how you want to feel or something that you do want to achieve or something that, is this carrot that's being dangled, right? And as you grab the carrot, you create new carrots. And I think it can be debilitating. And that's what I'm hearing here of having an idea that there is an end when we've arrived and there never will be one. And that's a beautiful thing, right? Don't let that stop.
Right. When you get to the end, then you're like, now what?
Totally. So enjoying the fact that there is no end. And perhaps because sometimes it gets really overwhelming for people to even have a bigger vision, we can break it down. What about this season? Who am I in this season? So I don't know about you. 2025 held a lot of different seasons, a lot of seasons within 1 year, right? And so it was just like this continuously, who do I need to be right now for whatever season I am in that I want to create? And then the next one will naturally evolve. And if you're even a little bit more stuck from that, right? We're just not even coming up for air yet. We're still in the thick of it in the mud. The biggest thing I always tell people to focus on, number one, just focus on moving your body. No, number one, just before you even get into the mind stuff, anything, just move your body. Tune into whatever you feel like your body needs. Is it walking? Is it breathing? Do you need to go throw an axe? Do you need to go break something? What is it that your body needs? And just move the body. That is crucial in creating that momentum, because the emotions will be able to process through you. As you start to feel better in your body, you're going to gain no confidence. That's what I learned in training those women with disabilities in the program, that they were coming to me because they wanted to get rid of their wheelchair tummy, right? The wheelchair tummy, it's rough. I don't have any ab muscles that I can flex. So it's really tough to work on that midsection, and you're sitting down. Everyone looks more squishy, right? When you're sitting down. So they were coming to me for the wheelchair tummy, which I gave them what they were coming for. But it was fascinating watching one by one as they started to feel more confident in their body. They all said, what else can I do?
I love it.
What else? And now I feel ready for it, right? Now I feel like I've got some momentum in me. So just start with movement.
I love it.
Oh, so good. Tell us, what are you up to these days? Tell us a little bit about what you're up to. How can people follow you? Spill all the tea.
So you can find me on a lot of stages. I am loving all the keynotes that I'm getting, and also workshops. So if anyone has events coming up or conferences or teams or anything, I do keynotes. I also do workshops. Just did one a couple of days ago for Iconic Presence for a sales team, all different types of industries. So having a lot of fun with that. And then I work with private clients throughout the year. A lot of them are really coming to me they are working on their own keynotes, but some of them are just, I want to be a better leader, or so I'm working with them in different capacities, but a lot on specifically public speaking when it comes to privates. And then once a year, I do my Icon Live event, which is always in the spring. We're already starting to plan for it. It's going to be so much fun. And at that event is where we launch and open up the doors for the Icon Academy. We only run that once a year. We've got a wait list already going on. And because of that, we're going to be doing it by application, making sure that the group as a whole is really synergistic.
Yeah, I love
I'm
that.
realizing that not only each person has their own energy, but the group as a whole has its own energy. And you want to make sure that it's really going to be a great vibe so that it's super valuable for everybody. So if that speaks to anybody too, always find me on verticalblonde.com. Everything is on there, or just shoot me a DM, Vertical Blonde, on Instagram too.
Perfect. Okay. You said it was in the spring. Do you have a date in the city?
Yes.
It'll be here in Salt Lake City. We're playing
Okay,
around with my birthday, which is March 28th. It'll be either that or the weekend before, but it'll be towards the end of March.
I love it.
Yeah,
Okay. I feel like I need to go get on a wait list now.
And go get your
For
outfits
this.
ready for the event. Like, the event's going to be a whole to-do. So
love
definitely
it.
get the outfit ready.
I love it. I need an excuse to come to Salt Lake, right?
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely. This sounds like an amazing one.
And
we
it's for
always
men and women too. So if you've got
good.
partners and teammates, anything like that too. I know you guys specifically work with a lot of women, but it's been really fun watching the different dynamics work together. And I think that we need to hear from each other more. Just a little side note PS, just from my own perspective, I've been working with a lot of women for a long time, and I'm realizing that the men need to hear what we're working on, and we need to hear what the men are working on. It helps us work together even better. So for that specifically, I just wanted to throw that out there, because I think a lot of people, I'm very girly and very feminine, so they think it's just for females, but the guys are invited too.
Okay, guys, you heard that. You can go too. Yay. They always feel like left out. They're like listening to our podcast. They're like, it's mostly for women. Are y'all going to do anything for men? I'm like, okay, maybe we need to incorporate some things with our husbands. We told them we were going to bring them on, and they were going to be the initiation and getting the men into our group. But okay, Sarah, so I have this question. So I saw a post. I can't remember if it was this morning or last night. And we talk about being ourselves, being our full selves. And I was saying, I'm loud, I'm proud, I'm not for everyone. And I know with you, I don't know if the people were reaching out to you or you're reaching out to them for a corporate speaking. I think you know what I'm about to say. And they told you that you were too glam, you were too sexy. And I was like my mouth fell open, and I'm like scrolling through your story. Like, I want to know number one, what did you say? back to that. And how did you handle that? And how would someone handle if they get that? They're putting themselves there and they get that type of feedback. You're like, oh, okay. How did you handle that? And how'd you move forward?
I am so happy that you asked this. This was really confronting for me. And it was also a really beautiful moment to hold up the mirror and really challenge of, okay, Sarah, how much do you really believe this?
Mm-hmm.
And I think those moments are really great for us, right? So I am working to get into more corporate speaking. I've done a lot of event speaking, a lot of women's events, things like that, where it's like the glam is fabulous, but corporate has the bigger budgets. I'm going for bigger stages, bigger budgets, right? So I've got a group of different female speakers that are all readily and steadily doing the jobs that I want. They're all speaking on these corporate stages very consistently, making the great money. And I've asked each of them on a one-off. I just said, do you have any insight for me on how I can either catch their attention or things that I'm missing? It's the Wild West. You can do this job really any way you want. So you kind of want to get insight on what's working for other people. So over and over, they kept giving me the same answer. And these were all from females saying, I hate that I have to give you this advice, but you're too risky. When they're going through and looking for speakers, they're going to see you and swipe really quickly because they're trying to appease their entire audience. And if you're too risky up there, if you're too sexy, if you're too glam, if you're too bold, you're not going to be a safe choice. The corporate wanted the safe choice. Now, each of these women were following up this advice with, I hate that I'm playing this game, right? Or some of them said it in different ways, right? I'm going to quote one in particular that this was where the conversation was. She said, I hate that I'm giving you this advice, but I've learned to play the game. It's working. If you want my advice, this is it. But also, and I just posted that day a picture of my back and I'm up like this. It's just the back of me. And I had done this Phoenix from the Ashes shoot. It was actually a nude shoot. You couldn't see anything except my back. You couldn't tell. Yes, you could tell I wasn't clothed, but you couldn't see anything. It was I thought it was tasteful. For me, it doesn't look risky at all. I'm looking at it and seeing it's beautiful.
Right.
But she says, I look at this personally and I say, oh my God, I can do anything. I'm so inspired. I'm so inspired and empowered by this post, but they're going to see this and be like, she's a risk, and they're going to swipe by. And so I got off the phone and I was just like, oh my gosh, okay, I want the stages. I guess I need to play the game. I immediately went and I deleted my post, which I've never deleted a post in the history of my account ever. And I deleted the post and I started thinking of, okay, what outfit do I need to wear for my next photo shoot that is super buttoned up, super corporate, button it all up, polish it up, tone it down. And then I thought, what in the actual
Yeah.
Like, what in the actual F is happening? And I literally sat on and I said, just like I told you guys in the interview, the sexy part of me was the part that I thought would never come back. It was the hardest part to come back. It was the part that I literally climbed through hell to feel bold, to feel glam, to feel sexy, actually feel it, not just wear it, but own it and embody it. And I thought, there's no way. I'm literally denying myself if I button this up. Not that I need this for validation. It was more about expression of what felt really real and really honest to who I was. And so I sat back for a minute and then I thought, there's bound to be audiences, industries, companies that want people to push the limits. They want their audiences to go bolder. They want the glam. And I started like brainstorming. I'm like, beauty industries, health and wellness, luxury hospitality. I'm like, these are my people. They want the glam. They're going to be swiping by the safe bets and they're going to say, this is what we need on our stage. And my entire body like felt like it had electricity again. I just thought, oh my gosh. And I'm so glad that conversation happened. I'm so happy because I've never been more clear in my life I've never been more comfortable now posting it. Even if you saw my post after that was like, it was pretty sexy and it was pretty glam. And I was like, oh, hell no, I'm never
Watch this.
again. Watch me. Right. And so I just thought, oh no, we're going to play bigger. We're going to lean in even more because it's my superpower. And then what was fascinating was the amount of comments on that post after I posted the story of it, of women saying, it's because of you playing that full out and that glam and that bold that I take bigger risks, that I take bigger leaps. I'm inspired because you do that. The comments were amazing, and comments of paragraphs. People were writing me full stories in the comments of what it was doing. I was getting DMs on it of saying, one girl wrote me and she said, because of you, I went back and got my master's at age 54. Like the messages. And I just thought I needed that conversation to really reaffirm who I was, where I was headed, what was important to me, what was vital, and that it can only come through in the way that I can do it. And my boldness, my glam, my sexuality, all of that, it plays a really big role because there's no way I can teach someone to own it if I'm not fully owning it. Back to what I said, the biggest thing for my audiences, they're never going to outplay the person with the microphone. So I got to go real big.
I had chill bumps the whole time. I'm like, hell yeah, yes, girl, yes.
Mic drop.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so inspiring. Yeah. Okay, you've inspired me. I have a post that I've been hanging on to. And I'm like, oh gosh, no, it is like who I'm becoming. And I'm like, I've rescheduled it literally 3 or 4 times.
You got it.
Posting it I'm literally going to post it today.
It's how you're off this call.
Oh,
you're
really? Okay. Yeah.
Holding you accountable.
Yes.
Your first one's commenting.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. I'm doing it.
Yay! And never delete a post. I am heartbroken that I deleted that post. Never delete a post. That's my one regret through the whole thing, that I immediately deleted. So don't delete.
Okay.
And truly, just like I said earlier, it's asking for the answer and then being willing to actually act on it. So that has created a lot of momentum in my life and confidence. And anytime that I do feel fearful, I know now how to tune in and to get moving.
I love
That's
it.
so good. I think that you probably, out of all of our guests that we've asked, you answered that the quickest.
Yeah.
Like you are so dialed in to really what Fearless is. And it's really about you and who you are and owning that. And yeah, you definitely dialed that in faster than anyone we've seen.
All right. Kudos. Yeah. I love it.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for being on, Sarah. It was amazing. I love your story. I love what you're doing. You are such an icon, and I can't wait to see what you do next. So thank you so much for being on, and you guys stay fearless.
Thanks for hanging out with us on Fearless and Focus. If today's episode gave you an aha moment or a reason to smile, hit follow and share it with someone else who needs it.
We're building a fearless community, and we're so glad you're part of it. Until next time, stay fearless and keep growing and keep going.